Hallo Leute und herzlich willkommen zu einem Let's Play des Stanley Parable. Ich spiele, die Stanley Parable. Wer nicht weiß, was das ist, wird's gleich sehen. The end is never the end. Is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Was steht auf der Tasse? Was with Fridays? I hate Fridays, okay. Dass keiner Hi sagt, das betrifft mich ja schon sehr. Das macht mich schon ganz schön traurig, muss ich echt sagen. Da muss ich jetzt einmal gucken, ob da hier irgendwo einer ist. Kann ich hier? Grüß? Nee, sieht nicht so aus. Vielleicht hier.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Hier.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, hier kann ich auch. Oh. Na, ich kann echt, glaube ich, nirgendwo rein hier. Alle Türen, durch die ich gehen kann, sind offen. Was steht da? Be my... Hey. Be my Valentine. Fuck you. Okay. Oh, was für schöne Bilder.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, das ist jetzt die Frage. Soll ich jetzt machen? Soll ich dem Erzähler trauen und zu der linken Seite gehen oder? Ich gehe zur linken. Spaß.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Boah, immer diese schönen Bilder. Die sind echt toll. Scheint aber echt so, dass ich hier nirgendwo rein kann, wo die Tür nicht offen ist. Ist ein bisschen schade, aber naja, was soll ich machen?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Na, ich glaube, ich mache jetzt genau das, was er nicht will. Alles, was er sagt, mache ich nicht.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Okay. Boah, das Spiel ist echt genial, geil.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Nein.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to
Scheiße.
tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good
Kacke.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay. Das war jetzt kein Ende, das ich wollte. Aber egal. Fahren wir
Stanley
noch
knew the
von
office
vorne an.
layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Okay, das geht hier also weiter. Die wollen mich ein bisschen verarschen. Ah, das habe ich ja gerade alles schon gesehen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
Kannst zurück.
door on his left.
Ah, das ist ja unfair.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Das sieht irgendwie nicht schön aus. Nein, da will ich nicht lang.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Warte.
Look, Stanley, I think
ich da
perhaps we've gotten
runterspringe.
off on the wrong foot here. I'm
Kann
not
ich
your
dann
enemy,
da
really,
drauf
I'm
springen?
not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else
Okay,
can
das
be
heißt, ich
difficult,
kann
but
wahrscheinlich
the
auch da
fact
drauf
is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Nein!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Kacke. Okay, dann sehen wir uns gleich wieder. Ich schneide bis zu der Stelle, wo ich gerade war. So, da sind wir wieder. Und diesmal werde ich
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps
100%
we've
schaffen.
gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What?
Oh,
Really?
geschafft.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay, dann werde ich ihm jetzt... Ich weiß nicht, ich glaube, ich folge seiner Anweisung nicht. Wow, wie gruselig das hier ist. Schon fast schon wie so ein Jumpscare-Spiel.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Na, als wenn ich das machen würde.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay. Probieren wir mal gucken, was passiert.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Warte. Ah!
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't
Ja,
let me stop you.
Das würde ich gern sehen.
You see? There's nothing here.
Okay.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Geil. Ey, das Game, das ist so krass geil.
Okay, I'm going to stop
Das
you
ist
there.
so geil, dieses
Now,
Spiel.
tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Also ich finde das schon richtig cool.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Was? The Stanley Parable. Worldwide Leaderboard. Na, gehen wir nochmal hier durch. Ach, das ist ja-
Now,
das ist
would
ja
you
genau das
say that
Gleiche.
competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Der Typ, wie der mich einfach verarscht.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the
zur Hölle?
demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Was zur Hölle? Scheiß drauf. Fick dich, Baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Ja, ich
Because if
hasse
it's the
Babys.
latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I
Ich hasse
can't
Babys.
think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was
Was?
extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Was kommt jetzt? Was? Wir
Well,
zocken
Stanley, is this any
Minecraft?
better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that,
Was? Wir
Stanley.
spielen Minecraft.
Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you.
Aber ich kann nicht
From now
springen.
on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Was?
This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes,
Eine
it's
Tür.
complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
geil ist
But
das
you've
denn
only
bitte?
seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand?
Boah,
Isn't it
das ist geil
perfect?
hier.
It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Ey, das ist so krass. Dieses Spiel, das verarscht einen so krass, ne?
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light? this is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Was? Okay, das nächste Spiel gucken wir uns dann vielleicht beim nächsten Mal an.
Talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Okay, dann gucken wir uns das in der nächsten Folge an. Das war die erste Folge von Stanley Parable. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Ich finde das Spiel einfach richtig geil. Es macht einfach mega viel Spaß. Ja, haut raus.